Memphis was a healthy baby boy with his whole life ahead of him. Then came the heartbreaking diagnosis that would change his life forever.
Memphis was born, he had 10 fingers, he had 10 toes. He was just a breath of fresh air. When Memphis was 6 months old, he got very sick. He had really rosy lips, and his lips started turning blue. And took him to the emergency room. 20 doctors jumped on top of him. Mr. Lafferty, your son has bacterial meningitis. Your son has 12 hours to live. That's not possible. It's my son, that's not gonna happen to him. And literally, he just was puffed up like this balloon. And his fingers and his toes was black with blisters. They put him in a coma immediately. He was on machines, every kind of life support machine that there was. He had 2 strokes in his brainstem, having his hands and feet amputated. They said even if he did live, his only survival would be minimal in the sense of he'd be sucking out of a straw. After 3.5 months of sleeping on the floor, right next to his bed, he woke up out of his coma. I'll never forget it. He looked at me and he smiled. I knew it was all gonna be okay. I knew it was all good. After the surgeries, he healed so quickly. The next thing you know, he was crawling and playing, just being a baby. Today, Memphis is 12 years old.
My favorite things to do are swim, play games, and ride my hoverboards. Let's go!
There are certain daily situations that I have to be there. The bathroom, getting him dressed, fixing his hair. He needs prosthetics because I know how much they're gonna help him in life. He outgrows them and they're very expensive. A set of legs is $18,000. I'm scared that he's not gonna be able to drive or have a job, having a purpose in his life. That scares me all the time.
Memphis father Chris is joining us, and Chris, I don't need to talk to you to know how much you love your son. Just looking at your face while we see Memphis up there, it's remarkable. What has been the most challenging part of all of this?
I guess acceptance, the process, when someone tells you that your kid, 6 months old, has 12 hours to live, just out of the blue, you go insane. Having the courage to fight through that and walk through that, and we all have doors to walk through, all of us, big or small, but having the courage to walk through it and do that was very difficult, and it was just worth it. I mean, he's just awesome.
I can only imagine that there must be some tough days. Like, what do you see him struggle with the most?
He struggles with his prosthetics, okay? Because it's heavy and it's hard, and he's a kid. He just wants to be a kid. That's been difficult because as a child, he grows. And meningitis, it's a bone disease as well. Mm-hmm. And so he killed all his adult teeth in his gums. So his adult teeth never grew. And so he has just fragments of teeth that are his kids' teeth. And so his teeth won't grow. And so he smiles, but it's not, you can tell that bothers him. And
if I could just take one moment here to address bacterial meningitis, because this attacks the meninges, and that's basically the outer casing that holds your brain. It can attack it so quickly and become a system-wide infection. Antibiotics are life-saving, but they need to be started so very quickly. You saw your child deteriorating before your eyes.
Yeah,
but you did the right thing. You went to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's just FYI for parents out there. You mentioned even the discoloration. You noticed the rash and
the spots on his stomach. They're like little dots.
And that's why the 20 doctors you said jumped on it, because they saw those spots. They saw probably the lethargy, and they said, oh my gosh, this is potentially bacterial meningitis. And so we're just so glad that he got the antibiotics he needed. And yet, one of the things that was really cool was to watch Memphis getting around on his hoverboard and just be a kid.
No, it's definitely cool. Memphis, he's got lots of friends, and he has his independence. I mean, he gets home from school and he's out the door. I had to buy him a phone. He's over at girls' houses.